Willkommen bei den Caramels mit Brian aus den Vereinigten Staaten,
Hey.
Rafid aus Bangladesch
Hallo.
und mich, Bibi aus den Niederlanden. Wir sind 3 neugierige englische Studenten, neu in Göttingen, neu in Deutschland und teilen unsere Erfahrungen. Im Weiteren ist Bibi für die Inhalte verantwortlich. Nachfolgend wird der Podcast in der englischen Sprache wiedergegeben. Schließ dich uns an. Hallo liebe Hörer, willkommen zu einer neuen Podcast-Folge von den Caramels. Heute sprechen Bibi, Brian und Rafid über den neuen Aladdin-Film, Filmkritik, die Rolle von Frauen in Filmen, DJ Khaled ist DJ Khaled und Familienname Erben. Also, los geht's!
Do 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 da 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 da
Hello there.
da da da. Adjust your microphone before we start recording.
It's good now, it's good.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Caramels. Thanks for tuning in to
Episode 200.
episode 7
Okay.
of 200.
Quick
That's,
correction.
Yeah, go ahead and jot that down.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about, all kinds of stuff. BB, as we were just discussing before hitting the record button, application,
Is that a
It's a
question?
software, I think.
software. You
Yeah.
saw Aladdin,
Yes. Oh, wait.
the new one.
It sounds like I just saw him walk by. Like, that's how you're bringing it.
Exactly. You saw
I
the
saw
actor.
He was there. Just
Where's
outside the
Jasmine?
studio.
Are you guys okay?
No, it was so yesterday I went to the movie and I realized actually yesterday that it just came out. Yesterday was Thursday. It came out on Wednesday. And
Yeah, I
it-
saw you, and you the way you had said, "Yeah, I'm going to see Aladdin," made me feel like you had planned it, but
the day before, yes,
Yeah.
because my brother's in town. So I was like, okay, the city is a bit boring if you don't really plan your days. It's not like you just go to the city and see what happens.
yeah.
So he's coming in from Holland?
Yes,
Okay.
he drove all the way up.
Ooh,
Wow.
down,
And yeah,
over.
yeah,
I mean, it's Holland, it's flatlands. He just drove.
Yeah, he just drove and he knew like the time I was gonna be free after class, so he just took his time. He had like so many breaks in between and
Yeah.
it took him 6 hours to arrive. But
Hell yeah.
so this is good. And so he's in town, so I was like, okay, let me plan something. And as you know,
Made a list.
German cinemas don't really
You watched
host-
it in English though.
Yes, we
Yeah.
watched it in English, but they dub it. So I checked the whole schedule, and there's only one English
Yeah.
show in the first week or
Germans
something.
love their
So
dubs.
if you miss that movie, you're just basically gone. You just have to look at the German genie.
I mean, German
Wunderbar.
genie is not German genie. I mean,
German
the genie
genie.
right now, he's not from Persia. It's from
Who
India,
is it?
right? So you've got
What?
a Bollywood
No,
tang
it's-
to it.
The genie?
Yeah, I mean the movie. If you just look at the layer upon layer upon
Are you talking about the character of
the character and the movie and the
Oh.
the cultural appropriation. Like
cultural
this
I was
cake.
like, Will Smith's not from Persia.
I was like, yeah, I was thinking.
So I feel like if you add the German dub,
I was even
the
going
damage
back
has
like
been
Robin
done.
Williams.
Persia, Philadelphia.
No,
No.
I don't know.
You're right though. Yeah, there's a lot of. We were just talking about that. There's a cluster of cultures and
Clashing violently in that movie.
But story-wise, you liked it?
I have to say it's childhood memories. If you put aside the cultural appropriation and the very extremely stereotyped views of, I don't know if they were going for the Middle East or
yeah.
the Indian continent. I don't know. Even I don't know if it was Persia.
I mean,
These
anything
are
off
all,
the side of the Atlantic.
Yes.
Just, yeah.
These are 3 like completely different cultural
Very distinct.
distinct
Yeah.
backgrounds, and they just merged everything. Like
Just let's put it all together.
I mean, I saw
Yeah.
the trailer and I thought, oh, Will Smith is in a Bollywood movie. Good for
you'd,
India.
you'd think
Yeah.
that, right? Like
I
literally
mean, the
thought
colors, the
the
outfits.
saturated colors.
Yeah, I mean,
and
that's the outfits that
everything.
our people wear when they go to the wedding or
Just-
something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like a daily
Yeah.
outfit.
It looked like that. Yeah, it looked like Bollywood dance coordination from the trailer, just from the trailer.
But can I just say,
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
kind of okay with. I don't really care. I know it's a cool thing to
Exactly.
talk about as like talking points for the radio show.
Yes.
For that, it's cool.
Yeah.
But I'm really like more interested. Is the story cool? Like, do you really lose yourself?
That's the thing. So I didn't know what to expect, and comments on the trailers I read, they were all like, oh my god, I can't believe they did this to the movie.
It's really hard.
They were so mad
Yeah.
at them, and I was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna go and see. I just want to have a good time, and like my brother is in town, I just want to see a movie, okay?
Nostalgia.
Yeah,
You're
nostalgia. So we went, and it seemed like a really great movie to see with your sibling. You know, like just
Definitely,
let's just do
yeah.
this. Childhood memories. Just let's get it back to Aladdin times. He wasn't even born then yet, but whatever.
Fair enough.
So,
Wow.
so I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it actually.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was really nice. You get into the story and you forget that the mean remarks you have.
I
in
mean,
the
the
back
blogger
of
in you goes out, and then you're just a movie watcher.
The extreme critics looking at the cultural appropriation that
true.
you just leave that behind.
As for the genie himself, because we're so attached to the
I have to
character
say-
played by Robin Williams, do you think
Yes.
this one stands on its own?
Yes, it stands on
present
its own.
generation.
It stands on
Okay.
its own, and I have to say, I actually liked him
Yeah,
as the
fair
genie, and he really made it his own. But I have to say, the trailer doesn't do justice to what
True.
he did in the movie. Like, if you
Good.
watch the movie,
Because from the trailer.
Yes, I know. You. I don't
Who
know. I
edited
loved
this?
him in the. If you look at the whole
Windows
movie,
Movie Maker? Okay.
if you look at the whole movie, it was a really good portrayal of the genie. I liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be sequels?
No.
I'm
definitely
for our listeners, no spoilers, but should they wait for the end credit scene? Is there something they have to wait for, or can they leave?
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Just wait.
Wow.
Just
Nice.
sit down.
All right.
Sit down and watch it. Yeah.
I mean, and for Disney, they're like, yep, it still works. We can
Yeah.
still sell.
You still own everything.
What other movies have we not remade yet?
I
And
guess, yeah, it's like.
Can we use Hong Kong's film industry to take
Very true,
this
yeah.
next one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because that's. I guess in the trailers, which start before the movie,
Mm-hmm.
they had the Lion King as well. You know, I suppose isn't that Disney as well?
When I went to see
That's something I'm really
when I went to
looking forward
see Avengers
Oh.
Endgame,
Yeah.
at the first two trailers were for Aladdin, and then the second one was for Lion King.
But if you notice that 30-minute of just trailers,
Uh-huh.
90% they end with, the Walt Disney Company. They own everything now. All the storylines
Yes,
and all
but that's why they're making money out of it. Like
They don't
it's-
own Paramount.
I suppose they started with from the makers of the Jungle Book from recent years.
Yeah.
That was also like
the guy who made
John
it.
Favreau.
how do they
Man,
call
yeah.
it? Like real time remake,
oh.
real action. No,
live
they have a word
animation?
for it.
Yeah.
I think it's live animation.
Live
Live
action.
action.
Live action. But live action would be without the actors. It's just
No,
well,
that's what they call it.
Oh, I guess they have those sensors on the actor, so it's
Yes.
like really an actor acting.
Yeah, so live action remake. That's what they're calling it. So, but Disney knows it's a money machine. They have the stories, and it's sad that they don't have really good original stories. I guess Frozen was Frozen theirs.
Yeah.
I've never
Like-
seen Frozen.
Isn't
that
that,
was-
Pixar? Or, no, that wasn't Pixar.
I suppose
No, you're
that's
right, it's
that's one of the more recent original stories they brought out, but now they're just going for the remakes because they know there's this new generation of kids.
I
and
don't
they
think-
can
I
get
mean,
But the
they-
demographic doesn't care also. I mean, they're kids.
Yeah.
What do they know that their parents have seen
I
it
suppose
already?
most of them is gonna be also like our generation who grew up with the cartoon version and is
True,
like, I want to
yes.
watch this as well.
The way
know?
you checked it out.
Yeah,
the new
exactly.
Aladdin,
I was
yeah.
like, yeah, I remember this movie from back in the days. I'm just gonna watch it again.
Long term,
Yeah.
if you give something or an artistic production 50 years, it's
Yeah.
most likely going to be a reproduction.
Yep.
In
Completely.
there's somebody
Yeah.
said that. I'm quoting some like Walter
Pretty sure,
Benjamin or
yeah.
something there. I don't know. But,
Okay, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, they basically everything
He's dead, he
becomes a
doesn't know.
reproduction, or at least in the form like in movies. I don't blame Disney for.
Yeah.
But for
it's
thousands of
also-
years, I mean, stories have been retold in some
That's
shape
what I mean.
or form.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
If you want to make
definitely.
that argument, I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just, the representation of that same old idea and how you make it
I
feel
have to
new.
say, so remember, have you read up on the things that they were heavily criticized about in Aladdin? Like, for example, from the beginning, they have like this very orientalistic introduction, and then they have all this other.
Like worse than the.
Are you talking
original?
about this new one?
No, the old one.
Yeah. Oh, the old.
Old
Yeah,
live
like-
action
yes.
with Robin Williams.
Yes.
Okay, missed the guy.
The intro is
Oh,
like
yeah.
the faces
Yeah.
on the characters are exaggerated. The idea of Aladdin
Mm-hmm.
and like that the class distinctions are hard to watch.
Yeah.
Just the soul. I think in this it starts like there's a guy. I don't know if he's a snake.
I suppose he's just
Jafar?
like a
No, no,
merchant. I
before-
suppose like a merchant.
Yeah, he's
or
like a
something.
merchant guy, and he
Yeah.
gives this intro. I think it's directly out of
Out of the s-
Arabian Nights.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's what they say.
It is the more palatable one for kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also it's dated.
Very. And
I suppose I remember the things they were heavily criticized about. Also, some songs, the things they say in the songs, and sometimes you see extremely eroticized versions of
Yeah.
the girls in the town,
Yeah.
and even Jasmine actually. And there's so many things that are very wrong about the movie. And yesterday, I noticed that they made changes to the script to make it more like acceptable to what is acceptable in today's society.
Which
So,
will be
like,
ridiculous in 50 years.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Because times change, our standards change. So yeah, I guess. But
What was something that you noticed change?
I remember there were so for example, these heavily eroticized girls in certain songs, like just dancing in bikinis, or like this
Yeah, they had, like,
belly
veil-
dance.
they had veils over
yeah,
their
the
face,
veils, the
and
belly dance outfits, and just it was just so random. It was in the original, the cartoon, and then yesterday I noticed they weren't there. They weren't there just at all.
All right.
It was just like Bollywood dancers, but not like highly focused on the girls being like in skimpy belly dancer outfits.
Just standard background
Yeah,
dancers
just
this time.
exactly. So I noticed that.
You sure you don't want me to flirt with him? No, just keep dancing back there. Yep. We're current.
Yes, that's basically what happened. Like
Yeah.
I actually liked that. I was like, okay, this is good, because if you got kids watching as well,
Yeah.
and also like Jasmine got a better written story.
She's got lines this time? She's got more lines? She's
She
got more lines?
Yes, she got def. She
Not
has
just
a-
reacting.
We're
Who
talking
was
about
that?
that.
What
Yes.
happened?
She sings half of the whole new world. Okay, it's split down the middle.
Exactly. And yeah, she has she
Full of row,
she grew
huh?
a spine suddenly. Like,
Have you guys seen the TV show Aladdin?
I think I have.
That was my introduction.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how I started.
Really? You didn't see the movie? You watched the TV show first?
Because the TV show, they would air every day.
Ah.
Because I think I don't know for how many seasons though.
Yeah, not
So
me neither.
Is
I'd
that
watched
the same? Is
and they dubbed the music also, not in Bengali, but it was a different.
Wow.
It was a different English one, and I think it went through the I don't know, India, Pakistan, or one of those places. Boo! And we got
One of those outlets.
we got a separate dubbed one, and so the way they would say Arabian Nights, it was us singing to the sky the way we sing, so it
Yeah.
sounded like that. So it was all of those things. So I remember that version as well, which for me was more childlike.
Yeah.
I could aspire to want to have a carpet that
would-
would fly, or,
yeah, of
things
course.
like that, and
Yeah.
like wish for a genie.
That
And
would
then
be
I was
all.
introduced to Robin Williams, and then I saw the humor aspect of it. But before, the genie was just a guy, goofy guy, but only goofy, not really funny, and makes
Exactly.
me
Yeah.
laugh.
That's exactly what I thought. Like the
TV show
it's-
for me was wanting to be Aladdin.
Yeah.
Afterwards, it was like wanting to have the same sense of humor as
Robin Williams.
as Robin
yeah.
Williams playing the genie.
And empathy, like
Yeah.
the Robin Williams character, like really plays the
Heavily improvised too. If you look
dramatic
at
role
the
as well.
Exactly.
behind the scenes for that film.
Exactly. I suppose like all the other actors had, or the voice actors had a script.
But that guy's a
Yeah.
stand-up
I
comic.
get,
so he's
exactly.
got
So I
material.
imagine it. The script for Robin Williams was just like Robin speaks.
Robin. There's a one song where he's like right when he comes out of the lamp
Yeah.
in the animated
Friend Like Me.
version.
Is that like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sings. There's one line where he references like some talk show host.
Yeah.
Or like a
Something
celebra-
for the times.
like
that made
several
sense.
celebrities.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why is the genie making these references?
So like
in this
Deadpool
cave to
before
this-
Deadpool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Oh my god, that would actually.
Fourth wall breaking and
Yes,
all. Like
he was so good in that. And
And
it's only
90s
that-
was the time to do that also, like
It
breaking the
was.
fourth wall.
But it is that it's only when you grow up and you rewatch it and you really understand what went through. Like it was Robin Williams doing that. As a kid,
Yeah.
you just don't care. You don't care. You just see a genie being funny,
Yeah.
and now you appreciate the joke. So it was good.
We
Yeah.
don't get that anymore. I feel like in these woke times that we live in, everything's like there's no humor. I feel like it's just too PG-13-ish. Like everything's a Fallon show. I feel.
Well, but
All
like in the movies,
movies.
they're gonna go for the laughs they know they can get. So in a woke society, you're not gonna make.
I miss the
laughs.
risque thing. You know what I'm saying?
Was it ever really risque in the sense that they would make what's risque to us now? Maybe they would have made a sexist joke or something.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just people think.
Which were there were plenty of, like in the
Yeah,
movie.
I'm
Like,
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now you'd have a whole panel on the set. Are you okay with this line, miss? Yes, I can say it. And then she'll say this line because it's supposed
Yeah,
to
and
go.
before it might have just been an easy laugh. Like people would have thought, oh, we'll just use. Yeah, it's sexist.
But laughs are laughter,
it's
right?
a
I mean,
easy
can
laugh.
laughs be easy though? You just react to it and you laugh.
But like if you put that same joke in now, it's not an easy laugh because you know.
Now it's like nervously looking around. Is this funny?
No,
Should I
but
laugh?
But it's not even risque at this
but
point.
it's good because okay, so like a clear distinction. For example, when he comes out the lamp and he sings like what he can do for Aladdin, like he doesn't understand what the genie is.
Yeah.
So he's singing his song like a friend like me, and then he's at this point he's singing about whatever he desires he can give him. And in the cartoon version, which is funny because last night my brother and I rewatched it because my brother couldn't remember the song because he was really
Wow.
young. So we rewatched it. In the cartoon version, Robin Williams, while he's singing about that he can feel all of his wishes come true,
Yeah.
in the cartoon there's actually like these belly dancing girls dancing around him suddenly.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like if this is what you wish, I can give you all the girls. And like yesterday that wasn't there. They just had like other things because it
But
is
that's also like a very Hollywood thing to think belly dancing people would find upsetting. Because there is a...
no, it wasn't.
I don't really think it's really upsetting for the people
No,
there.
but that's a change, right? They could have stuck to the original song.
Yeah, but they
Yep.
can then release the film at the places where they want to release and make the money they want to make.
Not really. It's. I mean, if
a
you
good
just
point.
think about it, like if you just so
Anything
basically if you
sensitive,
anything
it's
you
out.
want, so if you want girls, I'll just give you girls. Like that's basically what you're saying. The message behind it, portraying that is just not okay. So they just left that out and just went with the.
But you think in that meeting where someone was like, "Hey, did you guys notice that
Yeah.
they took this line out?" And they probably talked about it like, "What should we do to make this woke?" And
No,
one
I mean,
guy's
it's
like,
because
we
I-
should say guys and girls. We should say both. Like, who knows what? Maybe
Or
the
the
genie just
23
met
other
this guy.
genders, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I think in the one that you're talking about, in that version of Aladdin, Genie's more like a friend and a bro. So if he said, "Do you want some girls?" I think it's fine for that context.
It
For,
shows
for the
a
genie
side.
to-
Yeah, it shows what
because
like,
there
It-
are people who still talk like
I
this,
know,
right?
I know, but
Now
is
I
it
guess it's a little
okay?
more,
No. So why would
sanitized.
you kind of normalize it by showing it in the film? That's what they went for.
because it's a version of the genie that he doesn't want to be. It speaks to the genie.
It's still hilarious.
I mean,
That's
Genie helped out Jafar, guys. Like,
Exactly.
He's
He had to.
trapped. So he's been trapped before by people who have been chauvinistic pigs.
Yeah, exactly. So
So, I
no,
don't know.
but it's a good change. But the song was still hilarious. They
Yeah,
just replaced
fair
it
enough.
with something really funny and something else. You're
Sure.
not okay. So at the end of the song, you're not like, where were the girls? Like it's not, you know.
Yeah,
Where the girls
Get some
at?
bitches in here. No, like this. There was none of that feeling. Okay, it was just later that I noticed. Oh, okay, this is an interesting change.
It is
Gotcha.
interesting, but it's
Yeah.
like personally for me, it's still hard not to ignore the present actor and his age, and knowing he totally gets this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in the times that we live in now, like social media and everything, your phone is a strip club, pretty much. If you go to social media, you can like see anything. So I'm just going to pretend that's not out there in the world and make a movie for a world that
Are you
exists
saying-
in utopia.
Are you saying that your clicks on the phone are singles and every time you click?
Listen, Brian,
an ad-
if you object to me supporting local young women,
you can take it up.
Because apparently they're
Where are
looking for
you?
you.
no, I'm just saying, like kids today, they already know what's out there.
Leave
So
the
for
kids
me
out of
to
this.
make a movie and pretend like this is the clean version of the world that the kids live in, and they don't live in that
Dude, you
world.
gotta make the clean version because otherwise
Yeah.
the parents won't take the kids there. You gotta make
If
at least
it's-
appearance.
I guess I can take this point of view and make a different movie, but not for Aladdin.
No, you're right. You definitely could make a different movie.
It's out there doesn't mean you need to incorporate it everywhere.
True.
You don't need to normalize because it's out there.
True.
You know?
Yeah, I guess you're right. A movie is supposed to be an escape.
Exactly. So
always-
if you're just like there, just
Yeah.
looking at the same stuff again, and I don't know. What I found most interesting about the movie was the soundtrack. You know, the songs, they really made them come to life. I really liked the soundtrack of the movie, and they have like, I suppose, 2 original songs which were
Oh,
not in
nice.
the cartoon movie. So Jasmine got her own song.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like part of the whole character building for her and her story.
Is it a
Yeah.
is it a musical? Do people dance around?
Yeah, it is. It's
So
like Bollywood.
it is a musical.
It is a musical. Like
Yeah.
definitely, they're singing around animals and like running around singing their song.
What percentage of a movie has to be singing for it to be a musical?
I suppose one is enough.
One song?
No, I think there should be
I
at least
think-
5 songs, maybe 40%,
40%.
40 or
40%?
60. Yeah.
Yeah, but movie soundtracks in general,
Yeah.
they really set themselves apart sometimes.
Yeah.
I like you said, Prince. Wait, what is it? Prince Like Me?
If you
Wait.
say it
The
the wrong
Aladdin
way,
song?
it helps us because we can't really.
So when
afford
he
the
comes out
copyright.
out of the lamp, like
Yeah, that one. We can't afford the copyright, so
Friend like
make
me.
a prince out of me.
Friend like me.
Friend
you
like
never
me.
got a friend like me. That's
Okay.
friend like me.
All right.
So
there-
she's
there
paying
goes
for the copyright.
$1,000.
So like, wait, we're allowed to title the song, right?
True.
True.
Yeah, we
Good
didn't
thing
sing.
you said that.
We
'cause
can
I
sing
didn't know
it.
that.
We can sing it if we want.
Don't-
We're not
don't
allowed
you
to.
You're gonna make us look like fools.
Yeah. Who did the music though?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
Who cares?
Who
I'm
cares?
sorry.
So disrespectful to the hours of work and days they put into this.
You're right. That was mean.
I asked this because earlier we were discussing there's this dude out there who's pretty popular. He thinks he's a DJ. And I was just telling Brian and BB that if we could, in everyday random conversations with friends or with anyone,
Or at the end of the Aladdin as
Yeah.
well.
or when they turn you down for the, the liver donation or something,
Uh-huh.
you can just always scream out.
Which we all have casually
Yes,
tried.
we have all done that. We can just say, what should we say, Brian? DJ Khaled! If we
That
just,
wasn't me. That was totally you.
I feel like this guy's in the news for so long. And BB
Oh,
mentioned
man.
that she's also in the film's credits.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he produced music or not. So I feel like the way the guy, for every song, or just to introduce himself,
Yeah.
the way he does it,
It's
if
just
we
fun.
can do it, but like as a slam, like you say a sentence as a joke, and that's the punchline, and then you exit the room. I want to see like
It's
if
kind
we
of.
can...
I think that's already a kind of joke.
Another
running
one
joke,
is.
Yeah,
It's,
another one.
it's like,
yeah.
you saying
Another
boom,
one.
but you don't really say boom. You say DJ Khaled, and it has to be a scream.
No, another one
True.
is the joke. I
a
think
custom
that's what
boom.
people do.
Put a stamp on everything.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's
I-
not
I-
been.
It was a remake.
He's like a human Disney, eating
Yeah.
everything. I mean,
Like,
all the
I was
He's a brand.
surprised to
He's a
see him
brand.
there. Like, what? DJ Khaled in the house? Like,
all, and I think you said this before we recorded. You said like he's all Disneyed up. This is a good thing because I mean it's a huge population of kids,
God.
and now
it's
he
a
has
huge
this.
population of kids.
I mean, BB included.
It's not.
and now
Never
he
been
has
so
this
true.
new demographic. Good for him.
I'll take it.
Good for him.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like every time you see someone, I don't know if it's a crossover, but it's definitely a different industry
Yeah.
in which you have access to wider audience.
I guess, cause wasn't the last.
What do you
okay.
mean by that?
So, for example, if we're just looking at maybe hip hop, because
Mm-hmm.
I know DJ Khaled, you could probably consider a pop artist or a hip hop
Yeah, I
artist,
guess hip
Pop.
club coordinator, Floridian.
hip hop. I guess. hip-hop,
Exactly,
Yeah.
millionaire. Anyways, yeah. So, for example, if we're in the hip hop
Millions
genre,
and millions and millions.
you know
of
when like
dollars.
Ludacris
Yes.
or T.I.
Yes.
started acting?
Yeah.
So you watch the Marvel movies and you see T.I. in Ant-Man and Wasp. Yeah, T.I.
He's one of the
He's,
friends of
He's one of the
Paul Rudd character.
employees of Paul Rudd's friend. Yeah, I guess they're all friends.
slightly questionable company. that
Yes.
they run.
Okay.
That are all former.
Anyway, he's trying to say that
Anyways.
you have like all these musicians working as actors.
He's a hip hop
also.
artist and
Okay.
Ludacris. I mean,
Fast
he's
and the
part
Furious.
of Fast and the Furious, and he's part of other movies as well.
Yeah.
But Fast and the Furious, this is a
Since
franchise.
2001 or something.
Ah, yeah.
And someone can come into watching the Fast and the Furious movies and then forevermore be like,
Oh, that's the
"Wait,
actor.
what? That guy? This is the actor guy? He's a rapper?"
He can also sing.
Like, but
Yeah.
haven't people been doing that for like ages?
Yeah, but I think when
It's
it's
crossovers.
like with these from like hip hop, or at least the characters they've created for themselves,
Yeah.
or the image they created for themselves in the hip hop genre, it's such a distinction. Like you can't market that to kids really. They do, like
Ah, I see. Yeah.
you know.
I mean,
but-
you
the
would like.
audience isn't for
But then
families.
you have okay, wait. So you have Lady Gaga. She was
True.
in a movie.
Yes,
What was
Star
it?
is
Star is
Born.
Born.
Yes.
Like, but do you have the same kind of feelings towards
don't-
that? Like,
Yeah.
I have not first-hand accounts, but I have spoken to people who've seen the film,
Yeah.
and they have said, "Film started. I forgot this is Lady Gaga. I just saw her for the actress that she was." And they were also genuinely upset when she didn't win the Oscar because she did win the Best Actress award at Cannes. So you can really separate her
Okay,
music,
so
her
you'd
music
say
thing and
on the
just see her
basis
as
of
an
her
actor.
good acting is what would allow
I mean,
a
no,
hip hop artist or
good
singer
acting or a
just, like-
franchise like Fast
Yeah.
and the Furious, where
Yeah.
it's like a thrill
Well,
ride.
Yeah, since then I think Ludacris has become a pretty good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is about, right? Like,
That's such a slam.
like that's
It
what
kinda
you
is.
that's what you want, right? Like if you like
Come
if,
at me, bro.
if I don't listen to the other guy, what was it? Not Ludacris?
T.I.?
Yeah, like I can't
ATL.
come up
Sorry.
with who that is. Like I don't know.
Didn't he have the song Dynamite?
Maybe if I hear the song, I know.
I mean,
but
this
like,
is all like 2006, 2007
I don't
stuff.
have a
Really
picture in my
is
mind. So
mid-2000s.
say if I would watch the movie and I wouldn't know this dude is a rapper,
Yeah.
then I would probably just look at him as an actor. So then the only thing that matters is like, is he so convincing that I start believing he is an actor?
In
That's
the
what I
case for the
probably-
Fast and the Furious movies, I think the last one where they had, or the previous one where they had Ronda Rousey, and they're going all shake on all the shakes in Middle East. What happened was, I think they
What
had
can
a...
we do with a car next?
Exactly. So they did a music video
Was
where
that
they
the one
had
with the
Ludacris
tank?
sing the song. So they do appear in music videos for the films as well.
Yeah.
So you have the
Will
soundtrack
Smith.
for the film,
Yeah.
and then you look it up. Oh, that music was pretty cool in the film. I'm just gonna look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then you see the music video, and Ludacris or whoever is singing.
Right.
I mean,
Makes
there's
sense.
there's a lot of examples. Like, even Will Smith and Childish
Men in Black,
Childish
he was the-
Gambino
yeah.
or Donald Glover.
Yeah.
They've both come in at different points. you
Yeah.
know?
And they kind of, I like that how they're mixing all the crafts, like with Donald Glover. He's got his own show.
Oh, yeah, true.
Is it really
Yeah.
about him? The show called Atlanta, and then he's
It's
also
really n- it's
he's
really
also a
enjoyable.
comic
I
as
haven't
well.
I haven't tried it yet. Like I want
It's a good
to.
show.
It's
He's
on
also
my,
a comic
it's
as
on
well,
my
a
list,
good
yeah.
actor, musician. So I
He's
think
very
everyone's trying
admirable as an
everything.
artist, like in general, like his
Yeah.
work.
That's what I mean. Like, it's hard. It's easier to come towards Childish Gambino or Donald Glover and say he's an artist.
Mm.
And it's a little more difficult, I think, for some people to look at Ludacris. I don't know Ludacris's real name. I think it's Chris something. But
I'm sure it's a good
it's
Christian
harder to
name.
come. Just maybe that's
Yeah, I think
explanation enough.
people-
It's harder to come towards him and be like, wow, what a talented person.
Right. Okay. But then it's
Because
all
he's
about
coming
talent.
from.
Yeah.
So for DJ Khaled, he's a CEO of a company, I think, or maybe not.
Probably they're
I don't
making
know.
money somehow.
I feel like he's like the next stop on Shark Tank or something. Like he's waiting for his chair because I like as a mogul. He's
Probably the
huge,
voice.
But I would never go like, wow, what a artistic, talented individual.
Okay. Yeah. I see your point.
I don't know, but so maybe Disney's that way.
I don't know. It's kind of become like a thing now because remember we went to Venom. That's
Yeah.
the last time I went to the cinema, and at the end,
Eminem song.
Eminem song.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was coming, and it was there, and I was thinking, is this Eminem? I don't know.
BB
Like,
was like, yo, let's go do some stuff, yo.
It's-
let's get into some shit.
that was a sick song. Like, sorry.
Yeah, they also had rap music for The Amazing Spider-Man Part 1 and 2, where
But that
Pharrell
was-
Williams was the music director.
Oh, that's a bummer.
He
Because those.
collaborated with Hans Zimmer.
What?
What happened to Hans Zimmer? right?
What happened?
Yeah.
You're talking about the second installation.
With
though.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, the one that didn't get a third because it did so bad.
I still
Really?
liked it. I liked it.
Have you seen the new
money
tra-
wise?
Have you seen the new trailer for Spider-Man?
I have.
Is that
yes.
one where he goes on a holiday? Is that?
Yes. Wow. I got goosebumps.
To Italy. He goes to
I was
Italy.
ready to cry.
Yeah, it was good. Jake Gyllenhaal,
Only because
guys.
I
Jake
Go ahead, say it.
Gyllenhaal.
got some pepper in my
Jake Gyllenhaal again.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
BB, what was that? Slowly.
Isn't he Jake Gyllenhaal? Jake Gyllenhaal.
I'm going to write
Part
this
man,
down.
Jake
part
Gyllenhaal.
fish. Jake Gyllenhaal. The next Aquaman.
I think I've heard him pronounce it properly at a show once, and it
You're
just sounded
right.
completely different because it's Swedish or Danish.
It's American.
No, the
The
surname.
Gyllenhaals are straight out of they can.
Yes, but the surname.
Oh, so you're representing all the
I
Scandinavians.
think it's a Scandinavian name.
It's a
That's what I'm trying
Scandinavian
to.
show?
It's not Gyllenhaal. I'm joking.
Were they
It's
mute
a-
in the
it's
show?
a-
And they're trying to speak for the first time?
What are you
Wait,
talking
what?
about? What show? Are
Gyllenhaal? Who says Gyllenhaal?
you talking about Gilligan's Island? No, Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's
It's Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal. Yes, it's Gyllenhaal.
Brother of
but he
Maggie
pronounced it.
Gyllenhaal.
He
He
pronounced.
pronounces it a different way.
Yeah, like there was, I don't know, it
Maybe
was
you lost this
Jimmy
one. It's
Fallon's
Gyllenhaal.
show. I don't know. There was this one show, and he was like, "Wait, so you have a Scandinavian name? How do I pronounce it correctly if I
Oh.
say?" And then he said it like in a really funny way, like Gyllenhaal or something
Yeah,
weird.
okay.
And he was
And
like,
my
"That's
bad.
correct."
Yeah.
It got like in the no.
Sorry.
But listen, the original Scandinavian sound, it's like different, but in America or just in regular English, you just say Gyllenhaal.
It's a point of pride for Americans to know the ancestry of their names because in America it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it does to some extent, but
Hmm.
for the most part, I mean you can trace names back and find them pretty easily, and there's a lot of names that have been made up.
Why is that
including-
not a thing that we do?
Yeah.
It happens actually. I don't know if you're familiar with it. So it's like
Give us some Dutch name
it's
science.
it's no, it's not a Dutch name science.
Etymology.
I was gonna say, well, Dutch names are, I guess in America you recognize them quite easily. It's like usually the Van der Beek or the Van something, but in
Van der Wieben.
yeah, like it's in Dutch you would have that as separate words. So like van the or van der, and then the surname of the something.
The
Oh,
family
But
that
like
owns
in
Vans.
America, it just merged. It just merged into one word. But in Holland, you have people, and the correct wording would be like van der Beek. Like it would
Hey,
be
this is Bill
separate.
from the farm.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I meant the fascination with tracing back your history and what your name used to be and how it used to be
So,
pronounced.
because I was gonna say, like, for example, I know people from Pakistan. Certain people, like, okay, I wouldn't say they have a caste system. They do have like a kind of hierarchy in society.
And names have something to do with that.
Yes, because it kind of back in the days, like whatever profession you have
Yeah.
is the kind of surname you have. It kind of from your surname they would know
Yeah.
what your family
Super
business
European,
is. Yes,
too.
exactly. It's very normal. So if you would be a shoemaker, your name would be like shoemaker something. You
Michael
know, like
Shoemaker.
Michael Shoemaker.
And then it became Michael Schumacher. And now what does he do?
Michael
Drives F1 cars because
Yes.
that's so related. Yeah.
And exactly. So it's the same system, but then because all of these these professions would have a hierarchy. So if you're a shoemaker or you wash clothes or you like,
Cobbler.
yeah, exactly.
Animal husbandry.
Yeah,
What?
exactly. So and if you and then for higher and higher, then you would have like the landowners or people who don't
Yeah.
have to do these jobs. They outsource them to the people who actually do them. They just like because their grandparents were rich.
Yeah,
own
no.
land. So it goes on and on.
Yeah, and
But some people, they do stick to it. I meet some people with like a last name, let's say Chaudhary,
Yeah.
which is a common
Exactly
name.
same.
And
yeah,
they would say,
same.
"Oh, you're Chaudhary, so your so and so used to do this," and you're like, "Well, I didn't read the Wikipedia article. I don't know what they did."
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so it's like, so you have this whole name and its attachment to certain features that come with the name.
Exactly.
So there's a population who stick to it. So
Yeah.
they're really bullshitting you because they're not the same Chaudhary. There are different people and they took the name Chaudhary and added it to their last name because now people can just add last names if they want.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what
So,
people do.
for example, like me, my name is Rafid Hawk. Don't look me up. But the Hawk thing, it's
Wait, so that's Hawk, don't look me up.
yes, Hawk. Don't
Hawk,
look me
don't
up.
look me
123
up,
at
yeah.
yahoo.com. But that's not really our name. I asked my dad, like him and his siblings, they have different last names. Why? Because we like it.
yeah, that's
Because
true.
their dad just added different names.
Yes, that's
So the original one,
Yeah.
which, you know, I can't pronounce the Arabic thing because then they will think I'm being insensitive. But it doesn't, we don't
Bring
come
on
from,
your
like he says, like we don't come from Bangladesh, like some place around the Middle East. So I'm like, so we come from oil money? It's like, no. So you
Yeah,
have
it's
all
true.
these...
you wish.
People have kind of moved names towards places, sort of.
Yeah, so you have all these ideas about what your name means. But I still like, you know, I would see some film or a TV show, American one, and they have all these things. I mean, they would make a whole episode out of some 23andMe or something. And they would, like,
Yeah.
send out their, like, samples and find out
gosh.
where they are
What?
from.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, like genealogy,
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
finding
yeah.
out where you're from and
Yeah,
what your
that's the
name
thing
used to be
now.
and what your people used to do. It's so, like, looks like a cool thing. But for us, it's like, oh, you don't want to know what your grandfather did. You know, it's a lot
Yeah.
like that. So
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I wish I had that same, I guess, desire to want
No,
to
you're
know.
right. Yeah, but I mean, the whole genealogy thing is kind of full of crap.
Yeah, it is. I think I
It's
read
not
an
accurate?
extensive article on
it's
how
not
on
it's
the-
not
yeah,
accurate.
the
that,
inaccuracies that there are. Like there were people. They did this research with people who did like 3 or 4 different tests.
Sorry, speaking specifically to mailing in your DNA and then getting
Yes,
chronologically a graph of what you encompass
exactly.
is not accurate.
Exactly. That's exactly what they tried. So they sent out their DNA to 3 or 4 of these big companies who claimed that they give you an overview of where your genetic heritage is from, and they got back different results, and some of them were extremely different. A scientist explained like how they actually break down your
Yeah.
DNA to calculate which percentage is what. So you can never really know. It's just like some of it's so contaminated and so intermixed that's really hard to be so sure. Like, oh, I'm 12% Irish. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know
Right.
really.
Not to mention,
It's a
you
guess.
know, where were the Irish this whole time? Oh, were you an Irish who was living in America? Then are you genealogically Irish back till the year 1000?
Exactly.
Yeah,
When
so
did-
now
when-
where do you stop? Then just keep going back.
Yeah, exactly. How far are we going back here? On top of that, you're more than likely a mixture of places,
Exactly.
not nationalities, which is what you get back. You get back
Yeah,
nationalities.
exactly.
It's only been in history for a couple
True.
hundred years.
I think
So
some
we
of
should
them
just say I'm an
some
eight.
of no
Yeah.
some of them do regions instead of nationalities. Like
Huh.
Middle East is a region, Southern or Western
Huge, it's huge,
African,
it's so different.
Eastern. So some more vague expression of where in Africa, like West Africa or South of Africa, like something like that. And then Asia, they would do like North Asia or
guess
something.
For
So
an example,
they
like
some of the
I
think
guess that's not by region. You're right.
Yeah.
Like by region, yeah. I guess that's more efficient than actually giving like an ethnicity.
yeah, like French. That's too specific.
Yeah, what French are we talking about? Are you in Biarritz in the northwest, or
Yeah.
are you talking about the
Exactly.
Catalan French
Exactly.
people who are completely different, not French, and really should be their own, or could
Yeah.
be their own country. So it is super interesting. One of my friends' sister does DNA research, I think for a hospital, and she was just shitting on genealogy,
Yeah.
surveys and stuff like that, questionnaires. I mean, I could definitely tell anyone their genealogy. Just send me a letter. Make sure you list the postage, and I'll just read where the postage is from, and I'll just send you back that postage. So BB sends me a letter from Holland. Oh, this letter's from Holland. You're Dutch.
You're so Dutch.
Whatever.
No, but the thing is, like, as a joke, I think it's funny to try.
It is.
It's funny, okay?
And it's important. I guess I'm kind of leaving that whole
But
part out.
yeah, but exactly. But then it's expensive as well. I think like one of these kits is like €100 or something like that. That's an expensive joke to just give it a try. If I like have the means one day, I'll just do it as to see what comes out.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. They were like, don't take it so seriously. Don't be like, okay,
It's
from
hard
now.
not to though. Once you get the results back, it's
Yeah.
hard not to like drop in. By the way,
Yeah.
did you know? It's a cool talking point.
Yeah,
I feel like.
and you can cross-reference it with like periodical research. So like Ancestry.com has so they're literally just clawing for old newspapers, old town hall meetings where names are listed, and then they are creating algorithms to search all that news for your last name and try to draw connections that way. So anytime you look on, you can like just do a Google search, and then like Ancestry.com will be like, yeah, come on in. Once
That's
you
in
pay-
America though. Then
Yeah, that's in
yeah.
the U.S. Sorry,
Yeah.
because you do have to trace it back to somebody arriving.
Yeah.
And you have to prove at some point someone wrote their name down and got a social security number or something.
So
Yeah.
meanwhile, you're on everyone's database, and that's how they build Skynet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of scary.
Your ancestors would be pissed.
Yeah, sending in
Yeah.
your samples to some perv. I mean, I don't know. Sounds pretty crazy, but I'll admit I would sometimes feel like it would be nice to know where I came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you kind of know what are the options. Like, so if you're from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, I think the closest you'll get to hearing something that's not exactly your country or region is from the Middle East, like immigrated from the Middle East or Persian area to India, Pakistan region. So like that's like a migration that happened a few hundred years ago. That's like one of
And
the
Northern Africa.
exactly. So exactly. So those are the biggest options that
But that's
I
fascinating to know the Game of Thrones of your movement, like to know what your
Yeah.
family's been through,
Exactly.
the demons they fought. I imagine they used to have Godzillas back then.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
just to know like all the things that they did to survive, and then I came. So I feel like that's a cool thing. And
Yeah.
I think one day we should be able to like on our phones have apps that
Yeah.
show you.
It's one thing society on average is losing. Like the average individual is trying more and more to trace back their genealogy, but also at the same time losing it to
Yeah.
time.
What do you mean?
Like we have so many more resources to trace
Okay.
it back,
Yeah.
but with the way cities are and the way it has less of a tie. Like you can leave your family. Family structures aren't as the majority of the world. I mean, maybe that's speaking too generally, but I do think 100 years ago, someone would have bragged and believed because my grandfather was a king.
Oh, for sure.
I'm
Is a
straight
pride
out of
thing.
God.
It still is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still
and
a
it
pride
still
thing.
is important, but I don't think to that extent.
Yeah, but you want bragging rights.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
you want to like trace back and
Granddad's bragging rights.
yeah, you want to find out that we were the
Grandmas.
winners, kind
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. If you find out all your ancestors had it rough,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about that when you hear that. And
I mean, I guess
And
ecstatic
and
because
you're the
you're
only-
alive, so you made it.
and you're the only kid, and you have the power
Uh-huh.
to forget all that, wipe the slate clean, and start new
I guess that
for your children.
I remember there was this
It's a healthy level
episode.
of ignorance to have.
Like there was this episode on a Netflix show, and it was about a girl who was feeling extremely lonely. She came out as gay, and she was disowned by her family, so she was all on her own in a different state and
Yeah.
just living very isolated life. She didn't have any family suddenly, and for years she's been living like this, so she was very lonely. And there's a show, and they come in and they like, we're gonna fix your life. So they were like,
Kinda
okay,
sweet.
we gotta check out like this, how we can help you. So they
Sorry, so this isn't a reality show. This was a show.
no, this is a reality show.
Oh, this is a reality
Yeah,
show.
Netflix, they do
Ah,
reality
okay.
shows as
I
well.
didn't know
Yeah.
that. Okay.
And she is so what they did is to help her out, she didn't know this, but they went to the archives and went through her history and to find back like where she actually comes from.
Okay.
Because I think it was even worse. It was like she never knew her real parents. She was
Oh, so this was like a
adopted,
foster care
yeah,
or
foster
something?
care, and then she was disowned by her foster parents.
This
or-
is an origin story.
like
Yeah, go ahead.
it was very, very painful.
Yeah.
So they found like her ancestry and who were her grandparents, so she can have that feeling of you're proud of.
Yeah, some closure,
Yeah.
some, in
Yeah.
some
Community,
sense.
Yeah.
Sort of, I guess.
That you belong.
So they found like in the archives, they found like that her, I don't know, grandmother was a former slave, and that she was eventually freed, and then she moved from there to where, I don't know, and this how long they lived, this is the dates, and she married so and then she had her family, and then like they had a whole story, and that's how it comes, that's how her family grew. And
Yeah.
so she had this moment of, she had this feeling of a family, and this is what happened to them. So like she
Yeah,
had this
storytelling keeps you
closure, and
alive.
like
was
it
just
does
gonna say,
something
yeah.
for heritage.
Family narrative or
Exactly, family narrative. She had suddenly had that because nobody else would tell her.
Because these are
storyline.
objectively still strangers, and you don't care about strangers. But
Exactly.
once you
Yeah.
put a story to it, and you're in that story.
yeah, their characters
Means
and-
something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're
Because she
creating
could,
meaning.
because she never could really say where she's from, and now she had this story to tell. Like she knew where she came from, because actually it's her story
Yeah.
as well. Then, so it was very deep. I was very moved to see that they actually went all the way to really find that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
pretty cool.
What's it called?
Django
show?
3.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the
The
spot
the
there.
show,
Yeah,
like
the show.
I didn't
Django
want
3?
I didn't want to like actively promote it, but it's you know it, Queer Eye.
Okay,
It's
okay.
like it's Queer
I
Eye.
didn't know that.
No, I have
No?
heard of the show. Yeah, it's
I
very
hadn't
popular.
heard of it. Wow.
It's really good. It's just this makeover
I
show.
can't
It's-
believe I assumed that was a remake of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
What is that?
What's
Queer
that?
Eye for the Straight Guy was a show.
Queer. Wait, that must have been really recent because this show is not that.
There's a this was an old show. It was like in
MTV?
Might have been MTV. It was like in the reality TV was at its peak.
Okay.
And these guys, all gay, fashion experts would like help. I'm pretty sure this is what the show was.
Oh, okay.
They would help a straight guy who had no fashion sense with his life.
Huh.
So hence Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
But
I'm pretty sure I might be misquoting it.
But
honestly. I've
that's
never
the
seen
model.
it.
but
like-
Queer Eye, they do also help straight people. It's not
That's
just.
that's
So-
not
No,
what
he's
I'm
just talking
saying.
about the show he
That's
saw,
not what
yeah.
I'm saying. I'm just saying.
So the
I feel
show-
bad because I saw Queer Eye and I was like, oh, Netflix, another remake? Are you kidding me?
Oh.
You're just picking up an old show that that got canceled.
Oh, really? I thought that was an ingenious title. Like,
No, it's still fine. It can be
Yeah.
a new revamp of the,
I'm
of
just
the whole
talking
thing.
from
okay.
the
Yeah.
American-
I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was really good.
Yeah,
the last
that
season
sounds
really
awesome,
smashed it. Like it was.
I'm just mean I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw the box on Netflix.
Yeah.
I was like, "Tch, and passed
I have
it
to
over.
say
I
the
can't
third.
believe I did that.
They already have 3 seasons. That's a lot for a show, but I guess they do like just a few people for like a
Oh.
few episodes, and
Oh,
then
okay.
they come back. But I have to say, the third season was by far like the best one. So if you'd like
Sit
give it a
tight.
chance, just watch the
Do,
third
do,
season.
do you cry?
Yes, there were a few really good ones.
Round
Like,
2, Rafid's movie test. Did it make you cry?
it was really good,
It's better
guys.
when you say it.
Yeah.
It was really good. I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, but like the whole narrative like
Yeah.
stream is so true because so many movies or shows, like there's often a trope of the man from nowhere. Although
Yeah.
there's a movie called Man from Nowhere, but the idea that someone comes from somewhere and you want to find out where they're
Yeah.
from is maybe like human
Very
nature.
old trope, though.
Exact. Yeah, super old trope. Like
Still works.
centuries. I
Yeah.
think it was like in Chinese literature,
Mm.
in Japanese literature. But yeah, it still works.
Just curiosity.
And people still want to know what's my story.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's just the same. It's the same sentiment with having safety. If you know who someone is and where they're from, I'm talking from the second person's view. Then.
Okay, yeah.
It gives you safety. You know you're safe because you know where this person comes from.
Yeah.
If you don't know their background, it's like dubious. You don't really know if you can trust them. That's
Mm-hmm.
usually what it goes paired with, which is exactly why, when immigrants come to
Yeah.
Europe or I guess
Anywhere.
America, then there's this hostility which is mostly connected to not knowing who they really are. Just the fear
I would
of
probably
you don't
disagree
know.
with that. If anything, it needs more of the story. than-
Exactly.
I mean, like some of the stuff I'm reading right now about Irish immigrants,
Mm-hmm.
like for them, just the cultural books and songs that they had
Mm-hmm.
from Ireland or were being produced in Ireland were even more nostalgic and like helped create
Yeah.
a completely different but seemingly connected Irish culture. So I guess on an individual level, you're
Of
totally
course.
right.
Of course, yeah.
But collectively, maybe not. I don't know. You still see. I mean, there's a reason why there's a Chinatown in every
yeah,
major
everywhere,
city. You know,
literally.
It's
So what? It sells.
What, Chinatown?
Yeah.
It does sell. It is remarkably. Have you been to any Chinatowns?
Is there one here?
I was gonna say San Francisco, but I was like, I'm pretty
You
sure
have them
haven't
in
been
other
to-
cities as well.
Yeah.
I guess like
Have you been to
bigger-
San Francisco?
No.
You haven't been in the U.S.
No, I haven't yet.
You haven't been to the U.S.
Have you been to Chittagong?
Damn.
It's all the rage in Bangladesh. You guys haven't been
Have
there?
you been to
Chittagong?
Amsterdam? Like
Chittagong?
guys? Like
Chittagong?
Chittagong.
Chittagong.
Chitty chitty bang bang.
Chitty chitty bang bang. That's where it comes from. But I think it is.
Wait,
so, it's
where-
so there's a Chinatown in Bangladesh.
No, I was just doing the bitter. Why do everyone have to get the US reference?
Well,
Yes.
what's the?
Drop Bangladesh reference.
Yeah,
Here
sorry.
you go.
That's
Wait,
why
you were you were from Dhaka, right? Not Chittagong.
No, born and raised in Dhaka.
Okay, yeah, okay. Just like
born and raised.
But I think back to what she said, I think it's very human. And you said this
Yeah.
too, like to want to know where you're from.
yeah.
And once you have information, then you can use it as armor or I guess like for security.
Yeah, that's,
Isn't that what we all do? Like when we stalk people, it's still
Yes,
the
it's-
old caveman genes in us,
it is.
wanting to know
What do you
something.
want? Yeah, like what do you want from me? Who are you?
True, true.
It's
Yeah.
normal.
But like cavemen didn't want a narrative.
No, Brian, but if I said back to the old caveman genes,
Yeah.
it sounded cooler.
It did sound way cool, but
There
I
you
had
go.
to-
Learn something
I
new,
just
guys.
wanted to wreck that. I don't. There has to be a time when this narrative part of it started to matter more. I don't think it.
I mean, just like curiosity in general.
It had to
I
start.
guess in phases, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Like I don't know when it really affected your daily life. You know.
I mean, let's say if it's a new friend, so you're really exposed to them all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe then you would think about it a little bit.
Or
it's
like just-
it's a friend circle and someone's been added, and now you're kind of thinking, who is this guy? And you're trying to listen to what they say, try to get some idea of the person.
Yeah.
I guess.
So when groups started interacting,
Yeah.
Yeah.
when do you
But
think the inception of the narratives hold over people began?
wait, just like in a person's life?
No, I'm talking about humanity. Because
When it started to matter?
Yeah.
Go smaller, like make it more specific.
I guess
You went specific, but that didn't answer the question. You know, like I was saying, you said cavemen, and I'm like, I don't think...
I was talking about curiosity and like wanting to know shit, so as
Oh.
to feel safer.
I think curiosity's always been there.
There you go, caveman
Yeah.
times.
But I don't think the importance of narrative or stories or like having previous people stories.
yeah. That could be
It's a
more
part of it,
recent,
not the
but-
whole thing, of course.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe it's a process.
Yeah.
Damn, now you reversed it on me.
No, it's like, you know,
He
like
got you.
You did get me
you're
back.
on your phone and you're searching for something,
Yeah.
and then you start seeing ads for it. I mean, you were just looking for birthday gift ideas because you want to do a birthday card on your Illustrator or something. And now you start seeing like birthday
Are
gift
you telling us you want birthday cards?
items
We'll send you birthday
on your
cards.
phone. So like
Oh.
our phones are now studying us just with some information and getting to know us even better so that our next searches come faster or something. So this thing of always wanting to know more just to make the future more, I guess, feasible and easier. It's always been there, and
But
now
that's
What are
why.
you talking about?
Yeah, that's a weird tangent we're going towards. But I guess what you're trying to say is exactly what I was saying before. That you have like, okay, I lost my like thought train.
Maybe we cut Rafid off too. Maybe he was gonna connect that.
no, I was just talking about like information, wanting to know
Yeah.
more, having a fuller picture, our phones mimicking that to some point, and then I was gonna end
Yeah,
with,
there's a foil. Yeah,
and then I was gonna end with like humanoids. Like one day we're gonna have that as well.
yeah.
Like, you know, smart cars, smart
Is-
people.
So you're trying to say that's
It's a
also
full
why they collect
circle.
data. Like that's exactly why. Who
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you? What do you want?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
you
Data
from?
is like information or
Yeah.
something.
So we
That's all.
we
Yeah, that's all.
as humans have been we as humans have been
TED
doing that
Talk.
too. Like like we have been doing that as well. Like
True.
as humans, it's not with IT or data or IA or something.
Yeah.
Not just that. But just wanting to know where someone is from. Like that's very normal.
It is the age-old story. Yeah.
Yes.
We're going full circle here. I don't
Yes.
think it's the age-old story. Like, when did it start? Like, when did people start keeping track of? Hey, who was that guy who gave birth to, or who was that woman who gave birth to me?
I see.
No,
I-
but we're talking about it in very simplistic ways. I think that's why it doesn't make sense. We have to like imagine how things were and how people
Yeah,
were. You know, it
you're
was
right.
like
I guess I see-
Maybe it's
hunting and
something-
gathering and
maybe it's something
food.
you can't theorize.
Yeah, hunting, gathering food and shit like that.
So moving away from your home base to like find more food or just travel.
yeah,
yeah,
like-
that could
start
be the,
living
that's
somewhere
your in,
else
and
because
that's how
you cannot
get to the information.
yeah, like
thing.
if you cannot get any jobs or food or
Yeah.
whatever level
Maybe that
in
was
history that
caveman
was
stuff
like
then.
yeah that you just move to another area.
Like, we just had burgers at that last place. Like, we should go back there. You guys remember? Yeah, I remember.
Exactly. So like you just but then if there's nothing anymore, you're like we gotta find a new place. You show up at this new place. There's already
Yeah.
people there. They're like, who are these guys? Never
Yeah.
seen them before.
And now you have the crossover.
And then
Boom.
there starts the narrative.
Then
so
you make stories,
what-
yeah.
what- And then you get that the thing you like. We sometimes laugh about that stupid question. What's your story?
So what's your story, bro? Oh, you're right, yeah. Exactly.
Exactly.
yes.
Then you get that whole thing. It's just when people move to new places. That's
Yeah.
basically what.
Yeah, you're right. That's when it gets going.
Yeah.
Do you guys have genealogy trees? Sorry, I know this is kind of.
No, it's still the same topic
Yeah.
actually.
Do you
Yeah.
guys have trees like of your history, like
Where?
ancestry?
Do you mean
For us, it's just a family.
in an
telling us
archive?
the ancestors.
Yeah.
in an archive somewhere? You mean?
I'm asking, like, for me personally, my mom is pretty diligent about keeping track of both her side and my dad's side. So we have what's called a genealogy tree, and you have every name that they can trace back. Because in the U.S., it's hard to trace back to Europe. So we don't have past. It's if you have.
Yeah.
For a lot of immigrant, like
kinda
post-immigrant families, you don't have anything
Across the
before
ocean, and it's a
before
war.
So how
1700?
how far does it go? 1700?
Wait,
Wow.
no, not that far. No, so like mid 1800s, I think we have families traced back. But there are people, back. They can trace their family back to the colonies. Revolutionary late 1600s.
Yeah, there are
early
people who can do that, I
1700s.
guess. It depends, like,
Even.
how influential you were,
Like
apparently.
literally, there's families that go back to Plymouth Rock. So,
Wow.
do you have that?
No, that's
No.
those people are shit.
Nope. We don't know. No, I guess, okay, so I made a family tree, so I started keeping track of everything, but I
For
only
school?
knew, no, just
Oh.
like
For research.
research.
We had to do it for school.
Subject zero.
No.
Patient zero, sorry.
Because, and then,
Patient.
I just knew my grandparents.
Mhm.
I had their names, and then I guess my mom remembered her grandparents' name, so I
Yeah.
had that, and then my dad's side. But it ends there. There's no archive, or there's no. I don't know how I would find out real details about.
Yeah.
I guess then I would have to go Pakistan and then ask in a.
Exactly. Yeah, you're.
And then it matters. Okay, so that's the thing. I don't know if my like grandparents. I know where they're from and, you know, where they lived, in which village and everything. I don't know if they moved from somewhere to that village.
Good
That's the
point.
thing.
Yeah.
So probably they have their grandparents living there as well, their parents as well. You know, so my great grandparents living in the same house. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually moved from like the southern part of Pakistan or
I mean, you're first generation Dutch
yes.
in your family, so
Yes.
yeah, that's a totally different
Yeah.
trace
That's
that has to
difficult.
be conducted. I don't
Yeah.
know. And
That's
even in
difficult.
Rafid's is even peculiar as well. I think
Easier.
yeah, it's easier, I guess. Yeah, definitely.
But that's the question. Like, so do you know whether
But-
your great great grandparents were also in Dhaka?
No, it's just that it's a close knit thing. So everyone lived together. Even now, it's still the same area.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So when you go there, I mean, you meet the old people. They're like 90s or something, so they still have the memories.
true.
You
Oral.
you have the letters or
history.
something.
Yes.
Like my grandfather, he was
Yeah.
born in 1905 or 1908. So my dad knew all the stories.
Exactly.
And then you can easily go a little back to the 1800s and like his family, where they came from. Like my mother's side as well. So because it's just has to do with them living close together.
Yeah.
So entire families, like you get married and you bring the wife and you raise another family and your parents are still there or maybe in the next house, same place. So the stories always stayed there. So I can just make a quick phone call right now and find out about
Ask,
2-3
yeah.
generations back quite
Yeah.
easily, and they'll probably have some letters or something.
Yeah,
Today the cow died. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
there will be something there that I can find
Yeah.
out, but no longer easy because now that I've moved out, I don't know how my sister will live. So I think it will now start to get a little difficult.
It gets difficult when
point.
you move, like really move.
or just to hold on to those oral histories, like
That's so important. But
Yeah.
then, so my grandmother is the grandparent I had the like most contact with, and she was the last grandparent I had.
yeah,
She was born in we estimate 1930.
okay,
That's before the independence of
Yeah.
Pakistan, so that was still India, like British India. So
Back in the fun days.
she still remembered. So she like if for in 47 she would be like 17, 15 or 17. She still I remember she still remembered when she had Sikh or Hindu neighbors
oh,
living
Yeah.
in the same village,
Yeah.
right? And then the independence happened and they moved, like all those same neighbors all moved within the same night to India because, you know, lives were in danger and everything.
Yeah.
And it was very chaotic.
wow, what a like.
So
to hear
that kind
story,
of
I
that
mean,
kind of stories, that gives you goosebumps. Just think like when I'm walking in that village, just
a night
most
like
of the
tonight.
you're living there for centuries, I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
And the next day you just wake up with all these empty houses. It's just creepy.
Now you have to cross the border to see them. What?
Yeah.
Well, what's a border? Like they're just making this shit up at this
It's
point.
just a field. No, this is the border.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's still so many
You see the
people.
river?
Yeah, so many
See those
people
cows?
in
Not our cows.
like
There you go.
that's so
That was a
true.
cow setup
So
joke
many
for
people in
Rafi.
India or Pakistan still like remember or have parts of their family on the other side of
Yeah.
the
I know
the
people they
border,
still
right?
like, go back and forth and they
Exactly,
visit. Yeah.
like
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So it's a thing, but about like ancestry, that becomes very complicated exactly for those reasons. When you put a border in, like, I can only speak for India and Pakistan, which I read up more or know more about because I've heard these stories from my grandmother or other people who
Yeah.
like. But then it's complicated because I still know people or friends of my parents who know that, yeah, we have family like in, just to say, like Delhi, just living in India. And
Yeah.
they sometimes visit. Or I have a friend who's from India and her mother recently went to Karachi, which is in Pakistan, because she has family there. You know, like
Flip-flop.
it's just, it's
House swap.
yeah. So how do you trace
Man.
back ancestry then when it
Yeah.
kind of got really displaced? Like,
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we getting to a point where you just don't care?
It's a good point. Or is there's
Yeah.
a point where like the history of displacement almost deserves.
I mean, right now it's
More
pretty
attention.
hip to have mixed race babies. Imagine the terror. Imagine the terror for those kids trying to find out. Like they'll be like circling all over the globe.
You're
Yeah.
talking in the commercial
Yeah.
world.
A lot of frequent file miles just to find out like where my dad came from, where my mom came from. Wow.
It's weird, yeah. Like the more tracing for some people seems like more of an adventurous history.
Yes, yeah, it's like an
Whereas like
adventure,
some
yeah.
people who've been in the same place their whole life, You know, for
Yeah, my friend is my neighbor because I see him every day. I don't
Exactly.
really care
Yeah.
about some so and so.
but that has so much value. You
Yeah.
know, like and that's becoming less and less of a frequent thing to find in someone
Yeah.
that they've been in a place their whole life. And it's cool. Like every once in a while you meet someone and they're like, "Yeah, I love it here. This is where I was born. This
Yeah.
is what I do."
Until you're the guy who finds out. But wait, my great 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 grandfather was an alien. And now we just went
Oh,
out the galaxy.
That's why you've been here your whole life.
I would personally wish for that to happen.
I will run in the
Right.
crop circles
Yeah.
with you, sir.
Right.
Imagine that happen.
In the end, stuff like that though, now you're writing new histories.
Yes.
You're making
Yeah, you could make that up and just say that happened.
exactly. Yeah, you're
There's
giving your children a good.
There was an article out. I think you guys read it. 2033, you could be sending people to the moon
Ooh.
and
Heard that.
yeah, and settling down. So now you have a newer story.
Not to mention Mars colony. I mean,
I don't think it's gonna happen, right?
the moon's gonna feel like
Total
a
recall.
history to the Mars.
Okay,
Yeah, you're right. Schwarzenegger made sure that
it's never going to happen.
we're never going to the Mars.
Do you want to give it a try?
Yeah,
Before
give
we
it a
wrap
try.
No,
things
Come
up?
no,
on,
thank
wrap-
you. No.
Finish it off with your own
No.
Schwarzenegger.
No, I don't have a.
Just give a Schwarzenegger no.
I don't have it. Just say something.
I can't do it. It's too hard. What are you talking about? Wow, BB, that was good. That was good.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Maybe on the next time,
Yes.
we'll get a Schwarzenegger.
That's.
Uh,
I'll practice and I'll come.
Yes, she will practice.
plenty of time to practice.
Is it Rapid making a note? BB will practice Schwarzenegger.
I'm actually writing this
impression.
down.
Shit. I got homework for next time.
Yeah. For all you out there listening, you can come back next time and catch all of BB's other impressions out there, including her recently acquired Schwarzenegger. For now, though,
Yes.
we're gonna send off to the moon,
Yep.
make some new memories
Awesome.
Send
Excited
this
for the weekend,
episode
guys.
into the galaxy.
to the galaxy.
Totally unrelated. I can count on you guys for a kidney transplant someday, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Right?
Feeling something down there. Okay.
Why?
Yeah, you better make a note of that.
That's why you brought that cooler ice.
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
All right. See you next episode. Maybe I'll be here.
Alright, bye guys.
Und das war die 7. Folge von den Caramels über Aladdin und Familienname. Bis zum nächsten Mal, eure Caramels.